What are your economic outlooks for businesses looking into 2025?
Based on the economic reforms that have been implemented thus far, there will be a continuous rise in FX.
Higher than this?
The FX is not coming down anytime soon because there are key things that must happen for the Naira to appreciate, which is yet to happen and which will take time for it to happen. Government revenue will increase from taxes. It's going to happen in 2025. There will be an increased government FX reserve. The next thing I'd like to say is our import index will increase.
What are some tips for businesses to better position for the 2025 year?
The first thing I would say is that forget about what's going on. Look at the positives.
What are the positives?
So businesses need to stop. They need to start.
What are your economic outlooks for businesses looking into 2025? What should we pay attention to? What does the terrain look like? What are the numbers saying?
Good question. So my prediction is based on the economic reforms that have been implemented thus far, how they have been implemented, and their performance so far. So the first thing I would say is that there will be a continuous rise in FX. Yes.
Higher than this?
So when I say continuous rise, I'm not saying that it's going to be significant.
Okay.
But don't expect that there will be a significant reduction.
Okay.
Yes. And I think in the last few days also, we've seen the market play that way as well. We're all jubilating. It was 1,700 and something. All of a sudden, they said it became 1,005. That was when CBN, introduced the new platform for trading.
Yes.
It came to 1.5. People were already jubilating, and they felt like, okay, it seems this thing is coming down. It's coming down. The truth is that not yet. That will not happen yet, because there are key things that must happen for the Naira to appreciate, which is yet to happen, and which will take time for it to happen. The truth is that our production as a country has to increase. Our level of production. We need to export more. We need inflow of FX, right? And right now, even with the economic climate, I don't see too many manufacturing companies. Even the few we have are shutting down because of the very, tight economic environment at the moment. So it will take some time, for manufacturing companies to come back to say they want to continue doing their businesses again. And beyond that also, I think for FX, I think the major thing also that is affecting the market is speculation buying. Do you know that some people, that is their career? That's how they make money.
True.
They don't work. So the point is that it's a big business in this part of the world. As far as there are no policies to discourage that, as far as there are no policies that are making people to stop speculation buying, the FX is not coming down anytime soon. So I think government needs to be thinking in that direction. There has to be policies that discourages speculation buying. That's very, very important. There are too many people that just buy dollars and they keep it in their house. They're not using it for commerce. They're just speculating so that they can make a gain on it. So until that is discouraged, I think, at least for the next 1 year, I don't see the FX reducing
significantly.
Significantly. Let me add it. Thank you for adding that. Significantly, please. The second thing I would say is that increased poverty equals low purchasing power. Inflation is high at the moment, even though the rate it's reducing, but we can all agree that it still hasn't have an ample effect on every one of us. And the key things that will even drive that are still not, it's not working yet. So meaning that would happen, that will continue as well. The next thing I'd like to say is our import index will increase, which is what has happened also. We are importing more than we used to. And that's because I said we have manufacturing companies that have shut down. There are a lot of companies that have shut down this year, not just this year, even over the years back. And there has to be substitute for whatever they are selling, right? So people in the importation business, they see it as an opportunity to expand their offerings, and since they're used to importation as well, they're able to bring more things as well. I think also it's also good for me to say also that export too will increase, and I think we've seen that as well. Export has been increasing. Now, I love the fact that Nigerian entrepreneurs are thinking beyond Nigeria. They are beginning to see that they can make money outside Nigeria. I think that is fantastic. At least I like that. That alone, I mean, this particular economic situation has made a lot of entrepreneurs to stop being myopic, but to now look at the whole world as their markets and not just Nigeria. And I love that. I really, really, really do love that. And there'll just be a marginal reduction in operating costs for businesses. It will not be significant, but there will be a marginal reduction as well in the operating costs for businesses. There will be an increased government FX reserve because the government is trying to reduce inflation. So they are still mopping out money from the economy. And based on the last reports by CBN, I think the reserve we have right now as a country is the highest we've had in a long time.
True.
Yeah, so I think we should be proud of ourselves for that. And I think that's a fantastic thing as well, because it gives us some good backing, as a country. Government revenue will increase from taxes. It's going to happen in 2025. The government needs money. And the major tool for most governments around especially in the developed world, is that they use to generate revenue is through taxes. So the government also would get serious with taxes, and we can already see that at least with the tax reforms that have been proposed so far. So the point is, businesses need to brace up. If maybe you've been outside the tax net before, they've developed means to capture your business within the tax net. The point is that whatever tax holiday you think you've enjoyed by avoiding paying your taxes for the longest time, it will most likely come to an end by the end of this year. By next year, because there'll be a higher drive to generate revenue from taxes, basically. And I think businesses need to be aware of this.
How can businesses, what are some tips for businesses to better position for the 2025 year?
So businesses need to stop seeing the doom. They need to start seeing opportunities. They need to start thinking outside the box. They need to put on their thinking caps and come up with the blue ocean strategy that is needed for their business in this season. And trust me, it exists. So I know you run an advertising company as well. So during one of our webinars at the Lefort, I know I made this example. That's why I'm making this example to you too now. I said, when it comes to advertisement right now, to have your product on a billboard, it's expensive.
Very expensive.
It's expensive for a lot of businesses, So companies like yours you need to be thinking about how you can make your clients maybe collaborate. Clients that they provide products or services that they complement each other, to get that billboard space, as opposed to one company being on the billboard. But now two companies are collaborating. First of all, I know that will gain people's attention the moment that they see that two companies are collaborating on something that complements each other, right? So, and by so doing also, that means they're still able to get advertising done in their business at a reduced cost because of collaboration. So my point is that businesses right now, they must be thinking also of collaboration. Enough of competition. It has not gotten any business anywhere. You need to be thinking of collaboration. Look for other businesses also that complement what you do. and you people should now build a formidable offer or product or service that you could give to your market. Because at that point in time, they'll be receiving two in one, and of course, the client or customers would not mind at that point in time. Remember that in 2025, I'd said that there will be increased poverty, because of the low purchasing power. What that means is that there will be fewer resources competing for a lot of things to be done. And for your service or your product to be prioritized, you need to think outside the box. That's why I said you need to create your own blue ocean strategy to be able to still make your company, the number one choice for your client or customers as well.
Now, I think as we are fixing to close this episode, some questions that come to my mind is, do you see Nigerian businesses being able to compete favorably in the global space? Do you think we have what it takes? And if we don't, what do we need to do to better position ourselves for global scale and global growth?
That's a very brilliant question. Thank you for asking. The truth is that if you can survive, you can build a thriving business in Nigeria, right? You can do better in a more developed country. Because in Nigeria, the business environment is not that conducive. And it builds your resilience. It builds your tenacity, So if you're able to go through all that in Nigeria, you build a thriving business, trust me, building a business outside Nigeria will not be as difficult and you would thrive. However, for you to achieve that, I think the first thing every business owner has to stop doing right now is this culture of anyhowness that we have in Nigeria. Yes, we have a culture of anyhowness. You do business, no contracts. You're doing business, no structure, no processes, nothing is clear, basically. So if you are not a system person, it will be difficult for you to thrive in a more developed country. And that's why I'm saying that if you have a global mindset for your business, right, make sure you start doing this right now in your business right here in Nigeria. And you need to get rid of the anyhowness culture. Do things properly. Make sure you have your business contract. And most of the time, it's not something, we're not talking about something big, but just have it in your mind to do things the proper way they should be done. If you have that mindset, it will be easier for you to set up your business outside the country and for it to grow and thrive as well.